You are live. Okay, here we are. Welcome. Good morning to all of our South African audience, and good afternoon to anyone who is joining us from, I want to say Australia because that's kind of where I am, and it's a pretty cool place, so why not? If you are joining us today, you are joining us to have a conversation with Janine Ducabo, who is the serial entrepreneur I've been bragging about. She's known for her corporate branding, executive coaching, leadership development, strategic digital marketing expertise. And she is also the owner and founder of the JDC group of companies based in Johannesburg, South Africa. She's got 15 years worth of industry experience, and she's built a reputation with her clients to be strategic and insightful. She helps leaders and organizations all over the world achieve their full potential. Her clients include top executives and entrepreneurs and business leaders in a wide range of industries, including finance, technology, healthcare, and more. So Janine's approach to branding is rooted in her deep understanding of human behavior. And she's known for her ability to help clients become magnetic, which is exactly why we are here today. Her and her team create magnetic brands for their clients to attract their dream clients. And her branding and PR methodology combines practical strategies to help her clients build memorable brands. Also, something we want to be talking about. In addition to her work at JDC Exec, Janine is a sought-out speaker and thought leader speaking at conferences and events around South Africa. She is also the author of Intentionality, implementing 10 intentional habits for life in life. Her dedication to help leaders and organizations achieve their full potential has earned her the trust and admiration of her clients, colleagues, and peers, making her a go-to expert to anyone who's looking to achieve their goals and maximize their success. Janine, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Odette. It's an honor to be here in this day, and I trust that everybody is also going to add and we're going to give them some value as with even the things that we are going to share today.
Awesome. Shall we jump in?
Let's go for it.
Can you tell us just a little bit about your background? So I have obviously shared with them my perspective of who you are and what you do, but tell us about your branding and marketing experience. How did that come about? How did you become this crazy serial entrepreneur who's showing up everywhere, it seems?
Well, exactly. Let's start at the beginning. I think since even as a child, I was that one that saw the opportunity, and then I would sell the things that are relevant at that point in time. So from a very young age, I was able to see what people like and what people don't like. And then I was able to turn that into a business opportunity. I love doing that. So I didn't even want to go and study. And my parents said, listen, you have to go and study. Just go and study something that is broad. And I was like, okay, business, marketing, that will lean towards what I'm trying to achieve here. And I went to go and study. And I did start working. I worked myself up the corporate ladder until I was a group marketing manager. And then I knew at some point when I was there, there's more that inside of me that I want to give to people. I can add more value to other people than just one company. And I loved the place where I worked. It was absolutely amazing. But I knew that marketing needs to have a purpose behind it. And that's where I was heading. Marketing is not just marketing. It has to have purpose. It needs to lead to change. So then I started my own business. And around 2013, I went to the USA and I got certified as a John Maxwell coach. And that was just to formalize my coaching and mentoring career. And then I've started 7 successfully running businesses, with marketing and branding being the majority of them. So it's been a process. They say that success comes overnight, but they didn't see what came before that. It does come overnight, but the preparation and the process is more important than the overnight success.
I love that. It's businesses grow slow, fast. There's a process that sits behind it, which is exactly what you've just shared with us. And then suddenly one day you wake up and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. That is super awesome. I'm very excited to hear that your purpose behind starting these companies was making a broader impact, because that's what we're doing at the summit. We are creating impact in the lives of South African entrepreneurs, and now, due to our virtual tickets, to global entrepreneurs. So tell me, why is it important for SMEs to invest in their business? I mean, we're hosting the summit coming up in May, and I think one of the things that people mostly struggle with is investing in their business versus, but I've got to run the business. I've got to go and get some stuff done. Oh dear, we have lost Janine for a second. We'll just give her a moment to jump right back in. If you are joining us live, then drop us a comment. It would be great to have a conversation with you. Drop us your questions. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay in the comments and share with us where you are watching us from. In the meantime, we will see if we can get Janine back in.
Thank you.
Right. So my question to you was, why should businesses invest in themselves? I mean, the Business with Altitude Summit is a 3-day event, which means they will be taking time out of the office. And it's also not a free event. They have to pay to be there. Why is that a thing? I mean, why should people do that?
Oh, for me, let's look at the quick things. Is every small and medium enterprise needs growth and expansion. You cannot simply survive just by staying the way you are or staying the size you are. You have to grow, you have to expand, you have to lift the lid on your business. And attending the summit will help you to do that. You know, and in the times that we are living in, we were speaking about it earlier as well, things are happening so fast. So you have to increase your efficiency as a business owner. And at the summit, you're going to learn tips and tricks and increase your resources as well to increase your efficiency. But also you have to gain competitive advantage within the market. Therefore, you have to stay relevant. And the only way to do that is to attend summits like these so that you can stay relevant at the end of the day. And then obviously, if you bring your team, because this is the thing, don't come alone, bring your team with you so that you can retain your own team, build some culture within that, and, you know, like build up your team, build yourself so that you can go further. And then I think the last thing I will say is for the risk mitigation is things are changing. Things are changing. We've got industry disruptions. We've got economic downturns. We've got AI popping up everywhere, which most people are very unsure about. And we need to check where can we go, what can we do to grow and to have that sustainability into the future.
Absolutely. So, Janine, what are some of the common challenges? You mentioned that there's obviously some economic instability, and it's not limited to South Africa. Actually, it's a global thing. Globally, the world's gone crazy since COVID. I think before COVID, it was like teetering towards the crazy side. It's just completely lost its marbles. And then you mentioned AI, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety around it, but I also feel like I'm personally very excited about it, and I know so are you. And how is that? What are they doing wrong in these times?
Let me start with the positive side and say that in these times, the only thing that you can do is to stay on trend, stay relevant. Businesses need to be agile, they need to be innovative, and they really need to be proactive. But the things that they are struggling with is the limited resources. So a lot of the time, people will have the money, but not the right people, or not the right technology, or they will not have the money, but yet they have the people, or they have other things. So there's some kind of limited resource within a business that is helping or is causing them not to grow. And in these summits, we help you to actually identify that. So you'll be able to see, okay, this is what I need. I've got this and this is my next step. This is where I need to go. Competition is a real thing. I mean, COVID closed many businesses, therefore many other ones opened. So competition is on the rise, and people, like I said, they need to be agile, they need to be competitive, they need to be innovative. The market dynamics are changing the entire time. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, the social media platforms are not changing now on a yearly basis because the algorithm is changing or we got a new feature. It's changing on a daily basis. So the whole market dynamic is changing. So it's not a matter of what did I do last year. because that ain't going to work anymore. It's about what am I doing now, because it's changing so quickly. You said it earlier, since COVID, there's been a lot of regulatory compliances and changes that's taken place. Therefore, small, medium enterprises have to comply with certain regulations and laws, especially in the different countries. And sometimes that really makes it just very complex for them to navigate their businesses. So that's another struggle that they seem to have, as well as the access to finance. Because small, medium enterprises, they do want to grow, but sometimes they have a lack of finance. And then, like I said earlier, they struggle with the big change in the digital transformation, as well as the automation of things, because the future is automated. Yes. And it's a struggle for them to go from where they are now to a complete process of automation, because of how everything is just changing digitally at the moment. So that's where the focus is going to have to be, is the automation and the consistency thereof. But it is a big struggle at the moment.
So Janine, I love your points about automation, and it's a little bit impromptu, but so obviously automation carries some risk, but I feel like there are some opportunities. Do you mind sharing with us some opportunities that comes with automation when we decide to be smarter about how we work in our business?
Absolutely. If you think about it, I do some courses and some training on building your brand and building your business and scaling your business. The only way you're going to scale your business is if you bring automation into the process. So you can build your brand for it to be successful. Then the brand will help you to build the business. But at some point, like I just said, one of the mistakes that people make is, or the things that they struggle with rather, is that they run out of resources. Where if you put automation into the process, then you can use the same amount of resources or people, but you can automate the process so that you can do more now in less time. So before you know it, you're actually doing double with the same amount of resources that you currently have. So that is definitely the opportunity that you can see within the automation space.
So it's a bit of a work smart, not hard kind of vibe.
Absolutely, absolutely. The thing is, the one thing that we all have in common is that we have 24 hours in a day, and you can only use that 24 hours. But if you use it wisely and use it smart, then you will actually get more done in that 24 hours. So that's what automation is going to do for us. It's going to give us time back in our pocket.
Oh, I love that. So tell me, in the context of automation and in the context of what businesses are doing wrong, what do you see the biggest mistakes are that businesses are making in terms of their branding and marketing?
The biggest thing that I see on a daily basis is that they think that traditional marketing is out the window. And traditional marketing is not out the window. It is part of the marketing process again. Traditional marketing with digital marketing, with the up and coming or already here Web3 marketing needs to work together. Each one serves their own purpose. Where people thought traditional marketing has long gone out the window, that was never the case. It is part of something that builds the second part of the process that goes into the third part. And that's something that I see people are making a big mistake with. And they also think, and this is more for the South Africans, but they do think that they will be okay if during load shedding. And if I say that, then it's like they think that they don't need a generator, or they think they don't need power in that time. Your business cannot afford to be without power or Wi-Fi. It's a priority. And it sounds like, oh my word, why is she even talking about this? I promise you, you have no idea how many businesses think that they can manage without 6 hours of power and without good Wi-Fi, as an example. For you to meet your marketing and business needs, you need the two things, which is electricity and internet, because the world is very digital. Yes. And that is like the biggest thing. Like, people come to me and they say they have a resource problem, and then they start talking. I'm like, you don't have a resource problem, you have an electricity and Wi-Fi problem. If you have that, then you will be able to be 6 hours more effective than what you currently are at the moment. So it comes down to the little things that people don't even talk about, because they think, you know what, oh no, that's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. As a business owner, you have to make a plan to have those things. Absolutely. And then a bit more on the more technical side, if you want to call it that, is, I find and I see the entire time that people don't know the difference between what is a brand, what is sales, and what is marketing. For some reason, they think everything is the same. So they would, for instance, think that when they do a marketing campaign, sales is automatically going to happen. But it's the brand that establishes who that company is. The marketing is the tools that we use, and sales is the actual people doing the selling, or your e-commerce website doing the selling. But every one of them plays a part, and people don't know the difference between them. And that's why they're struggling to convert from the brand right through to the sales. And they're also struggling to understand who the people are that is buying the products from them, because they think that social media is going to do all of those things for them, where that is a very big mistake.
Oh, I love that. So that's definitely something we'll be talking about in the upcoming summit.
Absolutely.
And it's something I'm super passionate about. Understanding the person who trusts you with your money is more than just creating a persona. I mean, the marketing companies throw the word persona around because we need to create a persona before we do this marketing campaign. But it's so much more than just that. If you deeply connect with this person and you understand them. So taking the time, I like to talk about, it's kind of like dating, taking the time to get to know them, who they are, what they like, what they don't like, what irks them. Oh, some of us have quirks. What are those quirks? How can we use those quirks? What kind of language do they use? It's more than just a profile that's on a cute A5 document. And guys, here's our profile. We'll never use it again. It's about really connecting with that person. And when you do that, then you can create an ecosystem around that says, how do we meet your needs? How do we help you achieve your goals? And when we do that, we care about them. And when we care about them, we earn the right to get their money. We earn the right to get their praise, for them to say, oh, I actually like Janine. I want to spend my money with her because she cares. Isn't that so true though?
Yeah. It's absolutely true. And social media and marketing allows us to do that. It allows us to enter into places where we never even been before. So I also, with the mistakes, something that I thought about now is that, so many people have passports, but yet they only do business within a 100 kilometer radius from where they stay. And I'm thinking, even with the business summit, marketing allows us to cross borders. I mean, there you're sitting in Australia, I'm sitting in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Absolutely.
Marketing allows us to do that. So not only can we cross borders, but we can cross into a living room and a bathroom. People don't want to say that, but it's true, because how many people take their cell phone to the bathroom and they sit there, and that is your time as a marketer to zone in and say, when you are sitting there and you have 5 minutes for yourself, you need to be able to read my ads that I put out there. So it's not just about, it's true, it's not just about kilometers, but it's also boundaries that marketing allows us to cross, where previously you would not have sat next to that person in the bathroom.
That's right.
That's just how it is.
I love that. I'm going to be putting that up on a quote, just so that you know. The toilet is your captive moment of your client. Use it wisely.
Exactly.
So, Janine, would you share with us, in your opinion, how you obviously know what we're putting together for the summit, how those things are going to help the business owners? We talk about strategy, we talk about marketing, specifically branding, we talk about technology, you mentioned automation, and we talk about leadership. How will these things help a business? Because I find a lot of businesses kind of go, well, you know what, I don't need to market, or I am not a corporate. I don't need to know anything about leadership. I'm the boss. But I've got a laptop. What's your problem? Why do I need tech? Tech what?
Yeah. So the summit is definitely going to help them to gear towards becoming the industry leader. Some of them might already been be there, but I think a lot of them still needs to walk that journey in becoming the industry leader, and the marketing and the leadership will definitely help them to get there. It's going to help them to leverage of the new technology and marketing strategies, brand strategies that is coming out. It's changing very fast. So it's going to help them to leverage of what we currently have, and then be able to know what to do with future trends, because a lot of people know the word trend and they see stuff trending, but they don't know how to get into or onto that trend. So that's also going to help them. It will help us to see that globalization means marketing, and what globalization means for their business. Like I said, now it's just not a 100-kilometer radius. It's the whole world that's open to you. I think it's important for them to understand the difference between the brand, the marketing, and the sales, because at the summit, when we're going to be discussing these things, you're going to understand the difference, but then you will know how to use it and apply it to your advantage and to the advantage of your business, which will actually obviously affect the bottom line and help you to increase your profit and turnover. And then I think the other thing that we have to discuss within the summits as well is the difference between what is traditional marketing, what is digital marketing, and what is Web3 marketing. Because again, if you understand the purpose of each one of these things, you can use them, right? Where now people think they know what it is, and they think the strategy that they apply is going to work, but they don't actually know. But if you understand the purpose of it, you understand that, for instance, traditional marketing is there to create awareness, digital marketing is to create action, and Web3 marketing is substance. We're getting substance and style, we're blending all these things together, and that creates a great marketing and branding campaign. So that's what the summit is going to help people to do. And all these, I would say, tips, tricks, strategies that we're going to teach them on the day will help them to obviously grow their business for now and for the I would say next 10 to 15 years. Because I mean, you know, the lineup of speakers, Odette, it is industry leaders, and you become like the people you surround yourself with. So people need to make sure that they surround themselves with the right people.
Oh, I love that. I get goosebumps when you talk like that, because that's my vibe. We need to elevate the room. And if you need to elevate yourself, you need to elevate the people that are in your room. I always talk about who's at your table. And if you don't like who's at your table, you've got to find another table. And this is a perfect opportunity to find another table. Janine, you've been doing this for a really, really long time. Do you mind sharing with our viewers some of the cool insights that you've shared that have helped businesses win in the past, in your 15 years?
Well, for me, understanding the customer journey is important, and you spoke about it a little bit earlier as well. If we understand the customer journey, we will understand how this journey affects the experience that the customer has. So if, first of all, people don't understand the journey, and they don't understand what it takes and what people go through until they make that purchase decision. So we need to understand the journey. If you understand the journey, win number one, tick, done. If you understand then how that journey affects the experience that they're going to have, boom, tick number two, done with that. And the experience will influence the purchase decision. So that's another win. Because if you understand, you can, I'm somebody who likes to tick the boxes. So for me, I try and make things really simple and clear to understand. So understand your customer journey, understand how that journey affects the experience and how the experience will affect or influence the purchase decision. When you know that, you can then keep on selling your products and services way into the next 10 to 20 years, because no matter how the market changes or how people changes, if you understand, like I said, the customer journey and how that affects the experience, you will be able to adapt your strategy very easily. Like I said earlier on, we need to be innovative and we need to be agile. So that's what we're going to need.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you're telling me is that if you want to take your business to the next level, to the top of the summit, you kind of got to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can't miss this. It's exactly like that, Odette. I mean, I see it, and again, I go back to the people you're going to be around and you're going to be getting information from on those 3 days. Is, you know, I've seen the caliber, I've heard them speak, I know what they know, and I know that they know their stuff, so you need to be there to I want to say, to plug into that experience, so that your business can plug into something that's even bigger. Going back to the load shedding, is if you don't plug in that generator, right? If you don't plug in that generator, there's going to be no power, right?
Yes.
No matter what you do. It's the same with the summit. If you're not going to plug in, you're not going to have power for your business going forward into the next 10 to 20 years.
Absolutely. So, Janine, I want to be respectful of your time. Before we jump off and we end today's live, I want you to please share with our audience where they can find you. Where can we find you? LinkedIn, social media, email address. Where can we have a conversation with you to get more of this information?
Perfect. So the easiest, I did this on purpose. And the other day I got a question that, why is my Instagram handle a website address? Well, that's pretty simple, so that it's simple for you. So my Instagram handle is janinedukabu.co.za, which is exactly the same, janinedukabu.co.za for my website. And for website, it's also the same handle for Facebook, janinedukabu.co.za, and for YouTube. And also you can watch my podcast on Apple Podcasts, also on Spotify, to get more information on that. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, email janine@adcexec.com, and the rest is janinedukabu.co.za. If you look for me there on any one of the social media platforms, you can find me there.
That is just phenomenal. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you so much for sharing with us all of these wonderful insights. I am super excited about the summit, and I'm really excited to hear you speak, because there is just so much in there. I am starting to wonder if we have enough time at the summit, but we are definitely going to give it our best shot. It's been so lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining me. For our audience, I want to thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to the replay, please #replay. Tell us where you are watching us from. We will be keeping an eye on the comments. So if you have any questions for Janine, please feel free to pop them in there, and we will make sure that she gives you some feedback. In the meantime, if you are in Australia, have a super duper awesome evening. If you're in South Africa, have a blessed day. See you soon.